What's up, everybody? It's Gomex, and welcome back to another last-second Core Set 2019 draft. I better hop into this right now before it's gone, because I have a way better record in Core Set than in Ravnica, so we might as well hit it up before it is gone for the time being. I believe that it is being replaced by Ravnica Legion's quick drafts, so maybe I will be better at Ravnica Legion's in Best of 1, and regardless, it will be cheaper in Ranked than traditional. Also, I got my season placement rewards, so we'll have a bunch of packs to open up at the end of this video. So if you're interested in that at all, I think they are Guilds of Ravnica packs and not Ravnica Legions, but still, it's better than nothing. So this pack is quite good. There's Leonin War Leader, which is pretty insane. 4 toughness is large enough that you're usually able to get at least one swing in with this thing pretty easily. And if not, just backing it up with like one removal spell or one pump spell will let you get the swing in and get the advantage out of getting your 1/1 cats with lifelink. This card is very good. If you can get more than one swing out of this thing, then you are you're in there for the win at that point. But there are other good cards in this pack. I don't think that they're as good as the War Leader. I think Starcrowned Stag is really good. I think Meteor Golem's pretty good. And Poison Tip Archer is pretty good as well, but that's a gold card. I don't tend to take those pretty early, especially outside of like Ravnica, where the theming is that you're going to end up with a bunch of multicolored cards. So I'm just going to take the rare here. I think War Leader is definitely the strongest card in that pack. So this pack really has nothing for white. There's a Trusty Pack Beast, which, like, the only time that its ability ever really matters is if you're running a few copies of Explosive Apparatus, which isn't a card that I really like that much, so I don't really want to draft around that. In terms of black cards, pretty loose stuff. Like, there's a Blood Divination, which does combo well with having some tokens, and there's Strangling Spores, which is somewhat removal, but it isn't unconditional. It only hits the small stuff, so I'm not a huge fan of it, because there are a lot of large green creatures in this format, as we've seen with the decks that I drafted before. There's a Switcheroo, which is another pretty good combo with tokens. Just give them a token and take their best thing, which is pretty exciting. And there's also Vinemare in green, and Vinemare is really, really good. It's definitely one of the best green cards. So I think that the pick here is probably, for me personally, between Vinemare and Switcheroo. I have been going green a lot, so I don't really want to do it again. But the thing is, with this pack, like, I could take the Vinemare and possibly wheel one of these two. If I take Switcheroo, like, I don't really care if I wheel Uncomfortable Chill. That's basically useless. So I'm going to take Vinemare actually here. Maybe we won't actually just end up green for the millionth time in a row. We'll have to find out. So here there's a Luminous Bonds, a Colossal Majesty, Elvish Rejuvenator, a Resco Swiftclaw, Knight's Pledge is mildly playable. I think I'm just going to take the Luminous Bonds. It is unconditional removal. It'll definitely help our War Leader get through. Other than that, there is a Shock. Shock's pretty good. Siegebreaker Giant's okay. It is pretty large for its mana cost. The only problem is that it has a small toughness. But I do think it's still good, so I'm just going to take the Luminous Bonds. Here's a Starcrowned Stag for getting aggressive, or a Take Vengeance for being more defensive. This is a really hard pick. I like both of those cards a lot. I guess the thing about Take Vengeance is it doesn't let your creatures get through any better, where Starcrowned Stag, I think, works well with War Leader as well, because it's just another card that helps you try to break through their defenses. Make sure you can always be getting your attack trigger off this. But I do think that Take Vengeance is really good. I think this is a really hard pick, but I am going to take the Starcrowned Stag. And that could have been wrong there. So here's Explosive Apparatus. This is the artifact that I was talking about. That's basically one of the only reasons to run Trusty Pack Beast. I'm still not a huge fan of it. It's just a couple damage. But if you are really low on removal, it is mildly playable. This pack, there's nothing really exciting in the other colors. I guess the best color in this pack is easily red. because I think Vioshino Pyromancer and Boggart Brute are both very good aggressive cards. Boggart Brute, I think, is just pretty nuts. I'm actually just going to take Boggart Brute here, because I don't think I'm missing much by not having a white 3-mana 3/2, even though I'll definitely end up running it no matter what my second color ends up being. I'm going to take a Boggart Brute, and we'll have one card now towards maybe playing red instead of green. I think I'm just going to take another Starcrown Stag here. These red cards are not very exciting. Not really a fan of Anaki Ogre. It is high power, but it's only 2 toughness. I know that Boggart Brute is also only 2 toughness, but Menace is pretty big for being able to just get around stuff and get in there. Or, even if they have multiple creatures, force them into bad blocks where you can trade up with the Boggart Brute, even though it only has 2 toughness. If they have to block it with 2 creatures, you just get to kill whichever the better one is, so they can't just like block it with a single 2/2 and trade your 3/2 for a 2/2. They've got to send 2 things in its way and let you choose. So yeah, not a big fan of any of these red cards, so I'm just going to take the Starcrown Stag. And now we've got 2 of that. This pack's pretty weak. Yeah, really not excited about any of these cards at all. There's a Knight's Pledge, which can be mildly okay in aggressive white decks, maybe in white-green aura decks, or sometimes even just in Boros trying to get really aggressive, but I'm not a major fan of that card, but I do think that it can be good. There's a Fire Elemental, which is just a 5-mana 5/4 if we end up in red, which is fine, it fills out the curve. Highland Game, again, it's just okay, it fills out the curve, and then the black cards, none of them are that exciting. Two-Headed Zombie's probably the best one, just because Menace is pretty good. There's a Johnny's Welcome if I want to try to move into the life gain deck, but I think that you really need to have a lot of stuff that gives you advantageous triggers off of life gain to run a Johnny's Welcome, because at that point you're running an enchantment that all it's going to do is gain you probably like 4 to 10 life if you're like really lucky. And it doesn't do anything when you play it, so you're kind of down a card when you cast that, so not a big fan of a Johnny's Welcome. Yeah, I might just take the Knight's Pledge, because I don't really think I'm missing much not having a Fire Elemental. And we might end up playing a Knight's Pledge. It's definitely good on a War Leader. Helps it get through. It's good on a Boggart Brute. Make a really big Menace guy. It's good on a Vinemare. Yeah, it seems fine in this deck. This pack's basically completely empty for us. There's an Invoke the Divine. Again, this is best of 1, so I'd have to just main deck and Invoke the Divine, but a lot of people do run a lot of auras and stuff. That way we wouldn't just die to an Aether Tunnel or Blanchwood Armors or something like that. Yeah, every other card in this pack's pretty weak, so I guess I'll take an Invoke the Divine, and we might end up main decking that just for safety reasons. So there's Goblin Motivator, Havoc Devils, or Giant Spider. I do like Goblin Motivator a lot, but I think that he's really the best in like red-green, where you can be giving a giant thing haste. I guess it is strong when you just have decently sized creatures. Like giving a Starcrown Stag or a War Leader haste is also pretty good. So I could just pick that up. I could also just take another 4-drop, but I already have 3 cards at 4 mana, so I think that I need to be picking up really good cards at 4 mana now to fill out that curve. I don't need just more mediocre 4-drops like a 4/3 Trample. So I'm going to pick up Goblin Motivator here, and we'll see if he ends up being good in this deck. I think here it's going to be Sure Strike. I could take the Pack Beast and maybe wheel the Apparatus. Start picking up multiples of those, but it's not particularly exciting, so I'm just going to pick up the Sure Strike. Sure Strike is very good, because it's just decent, like a decent combat trick that can make sure that you win the combat and kill their creature, but like it's exceptional on stuff with Menace, and we do have one. Okay, we do have one creature with Menace. I think I'm going to take the Vinemare out at this point, and we're going to try to move into Boros here. So I will. Is it going to kick me off? Is it about to kick me off? Hopefully not. I'm going to take the Orescus Swiftclaw here to get an early creature. Take a Knight's Pledge. This is the other thing about Knight's Pledge. You can always get them late, so I don't know about that earlier pick of Knight's Pledge. Maybe I should have just taken some other random card. So this pack's not exceptional. I'm probably just taking another Star Crown Stag. I mean, there's Sun Cleanser, which all it is a 2-mana 1/4, and that's it. That is what it does. And there's Fire Elemental, 5-mana 5/4, 3-mana 3/2, or Star Crown Stag. So I'm just gonna take Star Crown Stag. Ajani's Pridemate. That card can be the nuts with some other life gain stuff. It just gets so large so fast, it's really hard to kill. The red cards in here aren't that great. I'd say the best one might even just be Gutter Snipe, but I have one instant right now, so Gutter Snipe's not going to do much. There's a Take Vengeance, which is pretty good, and Knight of the Tusk is good late game to just stop your opponent from doing stuff, and then you can keep just getting in there with Vigilance. I'm going to take the Ajani's Pridemate here and see if we can start picking up some other life gain triggers. If we go turn 2 Pridemate into turn 4 War Leader, that is exceptional, but that is the only thing that we have right now that can make Ajani's Pridemate any bigger. I think Angel of the Dawn is very, very good. It pumps your whole field, gives it all Vigilance till end of turn. So it lets you, once your opponent has bigger creatures and your stuff's like too small to really do much of anything, and you want to block, it just like accomplishes all those things at once. It makes sure you can attack and still block during your turn. Also, your creatures are slightly bigger, so now your 2/2s have 3 power, so they trade up into 4/3s like Bristling Boar and stuff like that. I think this card's just very good. So I'm taking the Angel of the Dawn. So there's a Stone Quarry for mana fixing, or there's a Pegasus Courser. I think Pegasus Courser is quite good. There's an Orescus Swiftclaw as well, which is good in these aggressive decks. I think I want to just take Pegasus Courser here. Make a Stand as well. Can be quite a good combat trick, but I'm going to take the Pegasus Courser. Pegasus Courser, whenever it attacks, you give something flying, so that's very, very good with Leonin War Leader. If they don't have anything flying, just swing with Pegasus and War Leader. Even if they have like a giant spider, that's still a safe attack, which is quite good. It's also really good with Boggart Brute, because then even if they have like a 2/2 flyer or something, they just block Pegasus Courser and still take the 3. This is flying and menace, so they completely can't block it. I think Pegasus Courser can be quite good. This pack, there's an Inspire Charge or a Shield Mare, and that's it. I think this is a pretty easy Shield Mare. It combos with a Ajani's Pridemate. Turn 2 Pridemate into turn 3 Shield Mare will gain me some life, so I get to put a counter on the Pridemate. And also, if they ever target this with a Spell Her ability, I get to gain a little bit more life, which is fine, but I doubt will ever happen. There's not a lot of times you want to use a targeted removal on a 2/3. Even if it didn't give your opponent some life. So this pack is not super good. I could pick up another Sure Strike or a Knight of the Tusk. I might just take the land here, actually. Because I am starting to get... I have 2 double white cards, so mana's slightly a problem. Yeah, I'm going to take Stone Quarry. I could see how Knight of the Tusk might be the pick, maybe even Sure Strike, but I'm just going to take the land here. So Dwarven Priest or Knight of the Tusk. I'm going to take the Dwarven Priest. It is lower on the curve, and it gains life to work with Ajani's Pridemate. Here, I think I already have double Knight's Pledge, and I don't even know if I'll want to end up running them, so I'll take the Loxodon Linebreaker. I could take another Loxodon Linebreaker or Fire Elemental. I guess I only have 1 card at 5 mana, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 creatures at 3 mana that I can just drop out on turn 3. So I don't think I need just another 3/2 with no ability, so I'll just take a Fire Elemental. This pack's not great. I guess I can pick up that Knight of the Tusk that I might have wanted to pick up earlier. Another Goblin Motivator, I guess? We did get another Swiftclaw or another Stone Quarry. I'm going to take the Swiftclaw here. Inspired Charge it is. This might actually be an Inspired Charge deck. I don't really know yet. I guess for now I'll put it in the main deck. Grab another Knight of the Tusk and a Tolarian Scholar. Here we are, pack 3. Viashino Pyromancer, quite good in this deck. I think Daybreak Champion's even okay. I guess we only have the 1 Pridemate, so without Pridemate it doesn't do much. I do have double Knight's Pledge to work with it as well, so that's pretty good, but we might be able to just wheel that. There's also another Shield Mare, which again is good with Pridemate. It's also 3 mana 2/3 with a little bit of an upside, and there's another Angel of the Dawn, which I think is really, really good. I'm actually just going to take Angel of the Dawn, and I'm really hoping that I wheel one of these 3 cards. I think we probably should wheel at least one of them. So there's a Lightning Strike or a Luminous Bonds, which is a pretty hard pick. I would definitely like both of these cards, but I am going to just end up picking Luminous Bonds. It's unconditional removal. The only problem with Luminous Bonds over Lightning Strike is that it is possible... I guess there's 2 things. It is definitely possible that I end up playing against an opponent with main deck Naturalize or Invoke the Divine, and then I'd kind of just get screwed. But I feel like if they're going to end up using Naturalizer and Invoke the Divine to save something with Luminous Bonds, it'll probably be something with more than 3 toughness anyway. So that's not that big of a problem. And then the other thing is that Lightning Strike can just hit their face for that last few damage, which Luminous Bonds can't do, but I'm still just going to take Luminous Bonds. This pack, there is an Oresco Swiftclaw, a Pegasus Courser, or a Revitalize, or a Spark Tongue Dragon. That is like basically an 8-mana card, but I think it's still good. Even if you get mana screwed and you're stuck on 5, you can just play it as a 3/3 flyer, so that's okay. I think I do just want another Pegasus Courser, though. Just try and get like as many cards to get the optimal combo into War Leader curve as possible. So there's an Electrify. There's an Electrify or Volcanic Dragon. I think both of those are really good. Guess I already have 2 Luminous Bonds and a Sure Strike. Do I want to just keep going low? I think I want to keep going low costs. So we'll put the Electrify in here. Maybe just start taking some of the high mana cost cards out and try and really just curve out. I think a pretty easy Boggart Brute here. I guess it's between Boggart Brute and Rustwing Falcon. I've seen a lot of turn 1 Rustwing Falcon into turn 2 Knight's Pledge, and that's definitely a play. But now I'm going to take the Boggart Brute. I think that card's just really, really good. There's another Knight's Pledge, or a Sure Strike, or a Hostile Minotaur, or a Thud. I think I'm taking the Fire Elemental out of this deck as well. Yeah, I don't think I'm excited about running any of these cards. Yeah. Just gonna take, I guess, another Sure Strike. See, because like now I could just pick up the other Knight's Pledge if I really wanted. I guess there's Tormenting Voice. Tormenting Voice does let me draw some cards and try and draw into something good. So if I ever get like mana flooded, this card is good. It's also good to try and get towards my game enders like War Leaders and Angel of the Dawn. Or just Stags. Yeah, I'll pick up a Tormenting Voice here. This pack, there is the Daybreak Champlain, which does combo with the Pridemate pretty well, so I'll pick that up. Another Daybreak Champlain. Trumpet Blast. Revitalize or Sure Strike? Probably not running 3 Sure Strike. Probably actually just not running Revitalize either. All it really does is combo with Pridemate and just replaces itself for 2 mana, which can be good in a lot of decks, but when you have a million things to do on turn 2 and 3, you never want to take a turn off to just draw a card. So, I guess Sure Strike. Lifelinker, another Knight, a Sovereign's Bite, and a Island. Alright, so this... Ooh, nice. I got some gems for getting cards that I owned a bunch of, which I guess is Leon and War Leader. That's pretty nice. I have never got that before. There was that one time where there was a Prime Speaker Vanifer in draft, but I didn't draft it, even though I'd already used 4 wild cards on Vanifers. Alright, so let's see here. I guess I'm not running the Goblin Motivators. See, this is the problem. The only thing I really know how to build correctly in this set is, like, mono green. So, here's where I make a bunch of loose cuts. Probably not the Knight's Pledges. I don't know. Maybe just 2 Sure Strike. Take out an Inspired Charge. How many creatures do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Maybe I do just keep Inspired Charge in here. This is a deck I'm definitely going to edit as the rounds go on. First of all, I'm going to make the picture lean in War Leader. Yeah, I think I'm just going to start with something very baseline at the start, and then we'll see based on how these games are playing out what cards I would have preferred to have. Maybe this is definitely like a Knight's Pledge deck, since I have Daybreak Chaplains. I have Pegasus Coursers, Boggart Brutes. Yeah, maybe this is a Knight's Pledge over Sure Strike kind of deck. And then I have to cut one card. Is this a 16 land deck? The curve is like just a stack at 2 and 3. Average mana cost 3. 20% white, or 83% white, 17% red. Actually, yeah, now that I see that, I could cut 4 red cards, throw in 3 Knight and an Inspired Charge. And my mana's just good. I really hate missing out on Boggart Brutes, and Electrify's really good too. They probably are worth the splash. Definitely throw in our land here for sure. 3 mountain, 1 stone quarry seems fine. I guess the problem is I always want to have Boggart Brute on turn 3. It's really hard to splash cards that you're trying to consistently cast early game. I guess I take out another Plains at that point. Put in another mountain. Might side into a looser mono white build. I think I'll just take Tormenting Voice out, actually, and run it like this. Yeah. Not sure how I feel about this. We will definitely figure that out as the rounds go on, but let's just hop into our first game and see how this build works. Definitely kind of unfortunate we didn't get any heroic reinforcements. That is the big Boros card in the set. This pack's kind of awkward. This hand is kind of awkward. No action till turn 3, which is not really what you want in an aggro deck. Definitely want to go turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 plays. That's a pretty good draw if I end up with another land here. So it looks like we're on the mirror match, or they could be 3 or more colors. Okay, at least they didn't get any action to start with either. Might actually want to just play the Courser first. That way it's possible I go turn 4 War Leader, turn 5 Courser and War Leader in. Versus just getting 2 damage in this turn instead of 1. So they are 3 color. There's a Gargoyle Sentinel. Stays on the ground unless they pay 3 mana. Alright, kind of an awkward draw. It is the land we need, but it enters tapped, so we'll have to wait another turn for our War Leader. Turn 4 for opponent, they play a Novice Knight. Are they 4-color Arcades? Luminous Bonds on Courser, that is kind of sad. I think I actually just cast War Leader here. They have quite a good defense setup. So if they play another creature here, then I guess I just drop Starcrown Stag and pass, and if they don't... Alright, double removal spell in hand at the start is pretty rough. I cast out a stag. We gotta start getting in there somehow. Stag is definitely a way. I can tap down the Gargoyle Sentinel, and then we're swinging a 3-3 and a 2-3 into their 2-3. No, what I was going to say is, are they 4-color Arcades? Because they did cast 2 Defenders. So maybe they just drafted all the Defenders and Arcades. Because Arcades makes all of your Defenders able to attack and deal damage equal to their toughness. And you draw cards when you cast Defenders. Alright, looks like they're just on the Enchanting or Equipping Novice Knight plan. They're actually just going to attack here? That's super fine with me. Alright. If you want to race this deck, then you can do your best. Because I'm going to Dwarven Priest in a little bit. I think next turn I'll cast Dwarven Priest and Knight's Pledge the Boggart Brute. So I'm just not going to Knight's Pledge yet. Dwarven Priest is going to be so much life here. 6 life. Dwarven Priest is quite good against enchantment-based removal where your creatures just stay on the board. Otherwise, I'd only gain 4 life. No blocks. Probably just not blocking a single time this game. They've got their own Dwarven Priest to gain 3. Alright. Ooh, do I want to just play that? +1/+1 move. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to play that this turn. Boom! The big plays. I think we tap down the Dwarven Priest, actually. Because Gargoyle Sentinel can't kill anything, but it can chump block. Whereas Dwarven Priest could block and survive the Shield Mare. So this might be 11 damage to my opponent. Heck yeah, it is! Alright. Plus all my dudes are untapped. 6 mana out for our opponent. They could cast a Palladium Wars now. Palladium Wars being the Naya Dragon, the red-green-white 6/6 Vigilance Trample Hexproof monster. Could also just cast like a Dreadmaw. Looks like they're just going to gain a little bit more life. And into Johnny's Last Stand. Whenever a creature dies, they get a 4/4 flyer. Okay. Well, let's make sure none of their creatures die then. So I guess this time I tap down the Gargoyle Sentinel. Seems pretty simple. Let's do this before combat in case somehow one of our creatures dies. Knight's Pledge on the... could you scooch on the Boggart Brute? Maybe I actually just wanted it on the flyer there. Attack with everyone, tap down Dwarven Priest, and I think that's actually just game. Or wait, I was supposed to tap down Sentinel. I just said the whole time, tap down the Sentinel, and then I misplayed. It's a good thing that that didn't end up mattering. Because that was a bad play. Alright, I liked this deck. I do feel like Boggart Brute is really good. And it's probably worth the splash that we've ended up with, so I'm just going to keep it as is. Alright, well... a little awkward, but we have 3 castable cards, so I don't think we can ship this hand out of here. Daybreak Chaplain for our opponent. Ooh, we drew the mountain. This is now what classifies as a good start. Boggart Brute into Starcrown Stag. Anybody? Seems pretty gas. Draw the Swiftclaw on turn 3. This would have been the curve. Swiftclaw, Brute, Stag. So they could definitely be saving up Cancel. But I think if that happens... I'm actually just going to attack, see if they're saving up some weird. Nope. Yeah, if that happens, that's okay. That makes sure that I can get through with a... yeah, obvious Cancel is obvious. That makes sure that I can get through with a Leonin War Leader. And I'm definitely not taking the turn off to cast a 3-drop on turn 4, just to play around the Cancel. So it looks like my opponent is just a deck of 1/2s, which is cool. So, I think we're gonna make Brute a big boy. Could also just expand my board, but then Brute can't attack this turn, so we're gonna make Brute a big boy. The difficulty with that is that blue is really good against auras. They have a lot of stuff that's just like, put your creature back in your hand, so then the aura just dies. Sift for our opponent. That is a pretty good card. We get to draw into some gas here. They are really trying to just curve out and kill me. Well, they are tapped out, so I might as well stop a damage. Down to 9 here, but I think I'm still just fine. Now I have 6 mana, so I can drop a Shield Mare and Luminous Bond something if I'm that scared. Which I don't think I am. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage on board. Yeah, let's just make our own board and get back at them. This is a race, for sure. No attacks from our opponent. Now I have an instant speed Electrify if I need it. I think I swing with the Boggart Brute and see if I can get a good 2-for-1 here with Electrify. This now can only be blocked if they double block it with their flyers and try to use an instant to pump their Wind Mage. Okay, so they're just not going to block it. They are going to try to kill the Pegasus Courser, though. So I'm going to try to save it by killing their Wind Mage. This leaves me open to just losing to double instant, but I doubt that that's happening. Totally lost on Boggart Brute is sad, but since I got rid of their 2/2 flyer, they don't have much action, and I can start getting in there with Swiftclaw or something like that. I could just toss a Luminous Bonds on the Falcon, actually, if they don't cast anything this turn. That way I can get in there for 4 this turn, and then they die next turn. Yeah, let's see if they've got a counter. Nice. They have a Bone to Ash, maybe? Essence Scatter, something that only counters creatures? Okay. Well, they are still going to die without any more action. Because now their 1 flyer cannot block. Luminous Bonds on the Falcon may have been a bit of an aggressive play, because then I'm screwed if they play something larger like that. But I'd have been screwed regardless against Djinn of Wishes, because that ability would still let them draw a bunch of cards. I also did not expect my opponent to make such a weird play as to save all of the mana to Essence Scatter instead of just playing a Djinn of Wishes. Like, you'd rather Essence Scatter a Boggart Brute? I guess that does play around removal, because then if I remove one of their flyers, Boggart Brute gets to get in for 1 attack and hit them for 3, but then Courser just dies immediately to the Djinn anyway. Actually, no, because then I would have bonds to the Djinn, and then they just block with the Falcon, and then take 3, and then, yeah, I guess that works. Well, if I could draw any of my bombs, that would be sick. Looks like I'm just going to die to a Djinn of Wishes, though. All because I wanted to kill them faster. Yeah, this is a pass. Yeah, I guess the thing is they can't really attack right now. So as long as the cards that the Djinn gets aren't very good, then I could still be in this. Snapping Drake. Okay. Come on, deck. Gotta do better than that. Mighty Leap. I think I'm dead on board. Not quite, I go to 2. Just die next turn. Or they just don't want to kill me. That's cool too. Opponent definitely should have just swung with everybody. They gain 3 life there. They go to 9 against 4 power of flying. I really don't see how they could have died if they swung with everything. And I drew nothing but lands here at the end, so pretty sad way to lose. Opponent drops a sick bomb, and I drop 3 lands in a row. Yeah, that sucks, but they did end up getting some good cards off of their Djinn of Wishes, so would have lost even if I bonds the Djinn instead of the 1/2 flyer. So that'll happen. You will play against opponents running a 1 blue mana 1/2 with no abilities and still lose. I think that's the other thing. I saw the 1 blue 1/2 with no abilities and I started underestimating my opponent's deck, which ended up working in their favor a lot, so I guess it's a good thing they ran a 1 mana 1/2. Like, they probably had like 1 or 2 artifacts in their deck. That is definitely a very new player style card, in my opinion. Hey, it's back. They better have a lot of artifacts. Even so, I don't think that card's exceptional. No artifacts yet. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this card, even if you are the artifact deck. Could Luminous Bonds it. No. So if they don't have some kind of removal, this hand is pretty freaking good, especially if I draw land. Well, only if I draw land. And I did draw land. So I could have a cancel here. I think I'm more inclined to just play a Starcrown Stag first. Nothing from opponent. So this Pride Mate is not going to get big for a little while, because we are slow playing this War Leader. Stag is like, if they have removal, they will use it on Stag, because Stag is a very impressive target for removal. It's actually just Luminous Bonds the Flyer right now, and I guess get the Knight's Pledge out while I have the mana to do it. Could also just do it next turn. Yeah, I guess I just do it next turn, because there's no reason not to attack here. So I tap down Omen Speaker, and then they can only chump block or take 5. And they take 5. Well, they are the artifact deck. They have just unfortunately not drawn artifacts. So I tap down to 3/2, then they have 2 power over there. So I guess if I Dwarven Priest I can still attack. I really like just getting that War Leader out here though. Maybe actually just Knight's Pledge the Pride Mate. Yeah. Now I have 3 equally broken targets, so it's gonna be really hard for them to choose what to kill, and I don't think I'm that sad about whatever thing they kill, because they're all very good now. Opponent's down to 8. I mean, if they have removal, I think they're definitely still just gonna hit War Leader. But my field is very threatening even without him. Which is super nice. So they don't have removal. They do have an Aviation Pioneer, which is 1,000,000 blockers, and opponent scoops. Which is fair enough. Things were about to start going really insane with a War Leader and a Pride Mate on board. Alright, well that's 2 wins in. Hopping into round 4 here. 2 wins, 1 loss. Hopefully I can keep up the 7-win streaks so I can get a nice little start on getting my limited rating back up for the new season. I think it's really cool that they're inviting the top 8 constructed players to this whole Mythic Championship thing. So they started with a 1/1, so I think I might just actually start with a Daybreak Chaplain instead of my 3/1. Yeah, I'll just start with the Chaplain. It's kind of lame, but it could just block the Vanguard. Ooh, Boggart Brute time. Good draw. Brute can block the 1/1 too, but I think if they attack, I'm not gonna block. I'll just go back down to 20. Because I do not trust an attack there. So I can Swiftclaw and Knight's Pledge. Would I rather Knight's Pledge the Brute or the Lifelinker? I guess I'm actually just gonna Knight's Pledge the Lifelinker. That way these are both threats, so whatever they remove, yet again, I'm not just losing like all my value off of one removal spell. Whereas I would if I just like slammed Pledge onto Boggart Brute. Because then all I have is a 1/3 instead of a 3/2 Menace. Hostile Minotaur. It's a hasty boy who is not going to attack, which is fair enough. So now I think I just attack with a 3/5 and then drop the Stag. Next turn, Luminous Bond something and probably just destroy them. Seems fine. When I say probably, I mean hopefully. Stag is very good here, though. Heroic Reinforcements. That is a very nice card I would have liked to have. I am absolutely just not blocking. I don't care at all. Okay. There's a scoop from my opponent. If I were my opponent there... It depends on what's in their hand. I probably wouldn't have played Heroic Reinforcements, but I might have just played it and saved the 1/1s as blockers. Literally just played it as a 4 mana, get 2 1/1s. Which is sad, but you do what you gotta do. I've got 2 cards I can cast, and they go well together. Pegasus and an Elk. I'll keep. Draw in another Pegasus. Opponent is on green, I'm scared. I've seen green be exceptional in this set, as the last 3 times I drafted green. 7-1. I think each time it was 7-1. No 7-0s, no 7-2s. Ooh, are they stuck on 2 mana? Ooh, I'm about to get a free win? That would be cute. If they miss more than like 1 land drop here, I think it's pretty likely that this ends up being a free win. Plummet on my Courser, okay. This hand is pretty curvy. Oh man. Oh geez, I just, oh god. I took a sip of my, Does anybody else ever drink waters with the flavor mixes in them? And then every once in a while you get a sip that's just like not mixed right at all. And it just tastes horrible. Because that's what just happened to me. Yeah, I mean, opponent is definitely just gonna die. As I said, they missed their second land drop, and I said if they miss more than 1, then it's over. This is the Boros aggro. Yeah, well, that was not really a game. But I'll take it. 4 wins in. 4 wins, 1 loss. Can we keep up the win streak? Come on. Can I 7 win every time I do core set? This hand is alright. Definitely want to draw... If I just draw a mountain, this hand's pretty good. Or the red-white tap land, since I don't really have any 3-mana cards. The red-white tap land works as well. Well, now I do have a turn 3 play. Opponent probably plays a 2-drop and then the Swift Claw sits here doing nothing. Ooh, it's an axe! It's not a creature. That makes me very happy. That was a very good draw. I got the mountain. Not only is it my red mana, but it's also an untapped land, so I get to curve out and have both my colors. Very good start. Next turn, unless they do something crazy. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. My laptop power cord has gotten really weak at the power slot, so it's very, very easy for it to just pop out. And it just did. And whenever it pops out, like frame rate just dies and stuff like that. So Daggerback Basilisk, I could trade either of these for that easy. I'll just swing. No blocks. Sick. Now I get to stag, and if they play a creature this turn, I tap down one of their creatures and electrify the other one, save Luminous Bonds for like a Colossal Dreadmaw. Dang it, they played the 2 creatures card. They played the 2 creatures in 1 card. They're down to 11, so I do want to stay aggressive. So I can electrify a Basilisk Maybe I just attack with everybody, tap down Basilisk, and I let them trade a 2/2 for my stag, and then they take 6, and then I just play another stag. That seems actually fine to stay aggressive here. So we'll tap the Basilisk. So they have to not block my other creatures if they want to kill my stag. So yes, there we go. Actually, no, this works out perfectly. What am I talking about? We'll just kill them both. Luminous Bonds whatever they play next turn, and they die. Man, I almost made a stupid play. Yeah, I was like, that attack there, getting them to do the double block on the stag was really good because Electrify's instant. Which, for some reason, I forgot and was being derpy. Yeah, now they are just dead. And still had all these. Look at this hand. Oros is insane. My opponent played some real cards that game. Did not get mana screwed, but it did not matter because that was just an insane draw. Alright, 5 wins, 1 loss. 2 more rounds, win or lose. 2 wins and it's over, 2 losses and it's over. Unless I'd get a loss and then 2 wins and then it's 3 rounds. But whatever, we don't talk about that. Alright. Another just okay hand. Definitely need to draw lands later here. And we'll just get them out immediately. Nice draw. I'm gonna play the Swift Claw first. Since they didn't play anything on 2, that means like at worst Swift Claw will trade up into a 3 mana card here. They don't even play anything on 3, so maybe I even get to trade up into a 4-drop. That would be sick if they just block with a Bristling Boar. Here's another Swift Claw. Now I have Electrify mana up. Aeromancer's Cage on a Swift Claw. Well, I am very happy to get that out of here. That is A-okay with me. Not going to save the Electrify mana up, just going to drop the Chaplain. I have no confirmation that they'll cast a creature next turn, and if they do, I don't even know if Electrify will hit it. Maybe it'll be a Vine Mare or something. Alright, Electrify hits that. But I don't need to hit that yet. They can trade with a Swift Claw all day. They can crack back at me all day. That is A-okay. Alright, so they're down to 10. I've got 3 in the air, 4 on the ground. I have drawn nothing but lands, so I definitely need to be drawing non-lands at this point. I don't have anything that costs more than 5 mana. So I've got these 2 extra lands for nothing. If these were 2 more non-land cards, my opponent would be super, super dead, but right now, opponent very much has the card advantage. So I need to do my best to just get in there. And that worked out real well for me. So I'm going to try to electrify that boy. See if I can just get in there for 7. Titanic Growth. Alright, well, he's just going to get Luminous Bonds next turn then. Giant Spider. This is awkward. Really sucked that they had the Titanic Growth. Of course, the reason I electrified is because that could have actually killed the stag, whereas if they played... Because they're green-white, you know, if they played Colossal Dreadmaw or anything like that later, I couldn't just kill that. But I guess I should have realized they were on 4 mana, so... They could have just went Forest Vigilant Baloth next turn. Which definitely would have been bad. Do I want to bonds... I guess I'll bonds this Dag, because I could draw an Angel of the Dawn next turn, in which case I can't play Angel of the Dawn and Luminous Bonds, so I should just Bonds right now. Well, the odds of that are pretty low. Everything else in my deck is 4 mana or less, so I can play both the cards next turn. No attacks. I guess I'd probably just Bonds Giant Spider, actually. Because then I can get in with Angel, Courser, and Swiftclaw for 7 next turn. Couldn't do that just yet this turn. I could Bonds the Spider and hit him for 3. Oakenform on Giant Spider? Alright, they've got 1 mana. I think that leaves them dead. Here's 7 exactly. Come on. Oh my god, yes! Oh my god. Boros is sick. Look, we're already back to gold. Man, it is unfortunate that my daily quests are blue, black, and black, green, and I'm playing white, red right now. Alright, well, I have 2 more rounds to get 1 more win. Hopefully I can do it. Come on, 7-win train never ends. Corset Master over here. Johnny's Pridemate and Daybreak Chaplain. Ooh, I like this. Turn 2, Daybreak Chaplain. Turn 3, a Johnny's Pridemate swing. Pridemate's a 3/3. Seems good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're playing against another aggressive deck. That means they might have too much power on the board for me to swing with Chaplain on turn 3. No, they do. But hopefully they just attack with everybody, and I can still just do it. Come on. Let me do the thing. A Knight's Pledge Daybreak Chaplain is pretty good in the mirror. So I probably just end up Knight's Pledging on Chaplain in a bit. No blocks. Opponent goes... blocks it on Line Breaker. Well, opponent is on the play with an equally aggressive deck, and I think that means they win. But I will do my best for that to not be the case. So I think I Boggart Brute this turn, and then next turn I Swift Claw and Knight's Pledge the Chaplain. But I'm still not attacking. Maybe attack with the Brute next turn. Right, here comes the Swangs. I really don't like trading. If they don't have anything to, like, Luminous Bonds Chaplain or something, then Knight's Pledge on Chaplain is just such a good blocker. And Boggart Brute, it's just trading down if I block. Man, this is not a fun match. This is stressful. Trumpet Blast? I go to 2. That's certainly not good. I guess I attack with Chaplain so I don't just die to Sure Striking the Flyer. But now I have to chump with my Pridemate. Well, I have to trade off my Pridemate. This is a really sucky game. This is a really sucky, stressful game. Probably just have like more Trumpet Blasts, which is real bad. Maybe I'm on the mono Daybreak Chaplain plan. I just trade off these creatures and just let Daybreak Chaplain maybe win. Yeah, kind of have to, because otherwise I'm dead to any spell. Dead to literally just 1 damage of anything if I don't do that. Onaki Ogre. Alright, well I have the Swift Claw to block that. Actually, that's pretty perfect draw. So I get to hit him with the Chaplain, and I still have it here as a 3/5 to block the Ogre. And I have a blocker for the Flyer. Yeah, I was correct in that Knight's Pledge on Daybreak Chaplain is the plan against the Mirror Match. And then just hope that they don't have a Bonds. So they clearly have like a Sure Strike or something, but I don't think I can not block. I guess I can. I just go down to 4. So whatever instant would have killed me here would have killed me last turn. So, yeah, because then they could have just killed me that because the Rustwing Falcon got through. So now we play a Swift Claw, and we're absolutely blocking Ogre with the Swift Claw. And letting them do whatever. Whatever they got for that. Saving the Angel back. It's either like a Trumpet Blast or a Sure Strike. I'm really not sure. No pun intended. Aeromancer's Cage on Chaplain. I think we're still fine. I just have to draw gas now. That is the exact opposite of gas. So here's the other thing that sucks in the Mirror Match, is it's going to be like whoever draws the most non-lands wins, which my opponent has already done. I've drawn 8 lands, they've drawn 4. Ooh. This is not great. Yep, seems good. Oh, that's an easy trade. Are you kidding me? Would have made that trade last turn. It's a little weird that they didn't do that attack last turn, but they did now. It's like they didn't want to do that attack because they had a 3/3 flyer on the board. It's so much better to trade a 4/2 into a 3/3 flyer than a 3/1 on the ground. So, that's a little confusing. Drawing this many lands is really, really bad. Oh man. Not exactly action. That would have been action when I had a board of any kind. Chaplain does not do it at this point. Chaplain does not block anything well at all. Yep, there's the obvious Trumpet Blast that they've had the whole time. Well, that sucked. Alright, well, I've got one last chance, one very last game here. The thing is, I'm usually happy to just win enough to get the 750 gems average, but when you're at 6 wins and you're so close to the 7-win mark, really want to win. This hand could be exceptional, and even if I draw my lands kind of slowly, it's still good. So we're against blue. Blue-black. Blue-black control can be quite good. So a little spooked here. Definitely going to start with a Swift Claw. Definitely want to just get aggressive as soon as possible. They're looking at my planes. Are they going to like stone rain my planes? That would be the worst. Alright, we're going to start as aggressive as possible. Now I'm just casting this Brute that I just drew. Sweet, no Essence Scatter. Good start is good. Even Wind Mage from our opponent. Guess I play the Courser and block it if they let me. Obviously only gonna block it if they put Rogue's Gloves on it. I don't really care if they do some damage, but I care if they draw a card. So they might equip Rogue's Gloves and then cast Divination. That would be really bad. Then it's a 3/3 flyer and they draw 3 cards this turn. Ooh, take Vengeance. That's possibly even worse. So now they get to hit me for 3 and draw a card. I guess I get to hit them for 4 if I don't block. Yeah, no blocks. Try and just race you. You're gonna have the card advantage, but I'm gonna have the scarier board that can kill you fast. Hopefully. Playing Starcrowned Stag first easily here, because they've drawn a lot of cards. They will probably have another removal spell. Plus Starcrowned Stag from Courser really lets me get around stuff. Leonin Vanguard. A Johnny. Don't think a Johnny does it.
Do not fear, my friend. Be strong.
Put a counter on both their dudes. Pass the turn. So we make the Stag flying and tap their flyer, hit them for 4. And then it doesn't really matter how big their stuff is thanks to a Johnny. That seems right. If I send in Swiftclaw here, all that happens is we trade Swiftclaw for Vanguard. Because Swiftclaw's just on the ground. So I don't think I need to do that. Ground creatures don't really matter when I have Courser out. Only really matters if they can get another flyer. Horizon Scholar. That is another flyer. But I can tap that one down. I guess I swing... Actually, it doesn't matter. They only have 3 blockers, and I'm tapping one of them down. So they have 2 blockers. Which means that they block 4 and 3, and then they take 4 total. So they are dead on board. We'll see what they have. Also, my 1/1s are attacking them, which I completely forgot about. So maybe they have like a blue fog? I don't know. I don't think that card exists. So let's see. Oh, we got him. Last chance too. That was at the 2-loss mark. If I lost that round, we were out of it. Oh man. Well, there's another 7-win core set run, this time with a pretty sick Boros aggro deck. Very nice. Let's check out the prize. 950 gems, 2 packs of core set 2019, and I still have my packs from being gold in limited and constructed, so let's go ahead and check out what's in the packs. Before I sign off for today, Supreme Phantom, cool cards he's play in Modern. Not that that matters on Arena. Sarkhan's Unsealing is a cute card to build around. You can make a goofy little constructed deck with that, with Traxos and stuff. So here's our Guilds of Ravnica packs. It's been a while since I've opened any of this set. I mainly just want wild cards and shocklands, I think. So an uncommon wild card is actually probably the best card I'm going to pull out of these 4 packs. Another uncommon wild card? I'm very happy with this start. Like, the rares are garbage. Camaraderie and Narcomoeba are just not playable. But double uncommon wildcard is sick. Connive and Concoct, pretty cool. And the final pack for today's video, a common wildcard, and got an uncommon wildcard just from opening a bunch of packs. And a Find and Finality, that is actually seeing some play in Sultai decks, I think. Which is pretty cool. Well, thank you everybody for watching another Core Set 2019 draft of mine. I am definitely having a lot of fun with the format. I love core sets, and somehow I'm decent at them, unlike Ravnica Allegiance. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully the audio worked out this time. Very sorry about the audio in the last 2 videos being very muffled and weird. That was because my headset mic was not registering and I didn't notice it. Luckily, though, whenever my headset mic doesn't register, it'll just go back and use the laptop mic as a default, so it's not like I lost all of the audio, but the audio was pretty rough, and I do apologize for that. I will try to pay more attention from now on by doing this little thing where I tap my mic. That was probably really loud. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will be back with something. I don't actually know what sets are going to be on Ranked Draft and Traditional Draft now. I know it's probably not going to be Ravnica Allegiance's Traditional Draft. I think Ravnica Allegiance is moving to Ranked Draft. But yeah, I've got 2,000 gems, so whatever they put on Traditional Draft, I could play that as well. We'll have to see what they put where. But yeah, thank you all for watching, as I've said, for probably the 5th time now, because I'm bad at outros here. And I'll see you next time.